Good afternoon. You know, in the midst of this pandemic, other really important issues sometimes can get lost. One of those issues is the critical importance of protecting all facets of our environment. We need to be especially vigilant about that. And today's press conference is about one of those very precious ecosystems. Today I'm announcing that my environmental justice unit in the Office of the City Attorney has filed 23 cases against 45 defendants. We're alleging that these defendants have jeopardized one of our most fragile ecosystems, and that's the tide pools at White Point Beach in San Pedro. These tide pools are home to a number of sea creatures. They're home to turban snails and sea urchins and lobsters and mussels and starfish. Those animals, those sea creatures within those tide pools are critical to a complex ecosystem. And yet, we are alleging that there are individuals who have jeopardized that ecosystem, because if those animals were to go away, the ecosystem itself would be in great jeopardy. We allege that in May, our partners at the California Department of Fish and Wildlife got word of crowds that were descending on White Point Beach. Those crowds were people were carrying crowbars and screwdrivers and garden tools. Their purpose was to pry off of the rocks in these tide pools the sea creatures I alluded to a moment ago. Picture what that can do to that ecosystem. I mean, it's okay to fish. If you have a license, you can take small quantities of sea creatures from locations like these. For example, you can take 35 sea urchins. But immediately adjacent to me is a photograph of 77 sea urchins that were taken in one fell swoop from this location. And that's just one example of a number of alleged overtaking of these sea creatures. You can take 35 turban snails. 1,200 were recovered. You cannot take a starfish at all, and yet starfish were recovered. You can't fish for lobster out of season, and it's out of season right now, and yet a lobster was recovered. The offenses that we're talking about range from infractions to misdemeanors. Each misdemeanor carries with it a potential penalty of up to 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. But I want to really underscore, we are fighting to protect a very fragile and increasingly fragile environment, an ecosystem that these tide pools are a key part of. These are tide pools that have been enjoyed by generations in San Pedro. This is a prominent location where people come and kids can learn about these fragile ecosystems. It's an important place intrinsically. It has an educational role as well. And I want to be sure that future generations have the same opportunities that past families have had to enjoy this location, and that the role that these tide pools play in a complex ecosystem up and down the coast can be retained. But here's the thing. You can't just take sea creatures in whatever quantity you want, whenever you want, from these tide pools, and that's why we're prosecuting. I'd like to introduce a crucial partner of our office in this effort. We work with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife all the time. They are heroic in their work, and I'd like to turn the microphone over to Lieutenant Michelle Buddish, who's going to have an opportunity to speak. So I'm going to step to one side, Michelle, while you come over here. Lieutenant, thank you for being here.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Feuer. We're very appreciative of your support in our partnership. So I'm here today to talk about White Point in San Pedro. This is a tide pool area where we've seen a large increase in fishing activity. This is an area we already patrol regularly as officers in the 5210 district, and we also have the support of other officers, which includes our Marine region and OSPR team. As a team, we patrol this area, but we have seen a dramatic increase since COVID, but also as a result of social media. There has been a lot of postings on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, saying to come down to this tide pool area and that the resources are endless and plentiful. The problem with this is that the earth and the ocean can only sustain so much fishing pressure. In addition to fishing activity, which can be done legally at this location with a license and in compliance with our rules and regulations, we also have other factors that come into play. So we have predation by seabirds and other fish that are brought in with the tides. And we also have environmental factors as well, whether it's storm surge or ocean currents. These take tidal invertebrates out to sea, off the rocks. You know, if we keep seeing the amount of fishing activity that we're seeing, I'm not sure this area could sustain that kind of pressure. So it's not just the fact that people are fishing there, but we have seen a dramatic increase. Like I mentioned before, this is an area we already patrol, but we have dramatically stepped up our patrols in the area, and we continue to do so. Just to give you an idea, I used to be the only officer in my squad for almost 3 years, and we cover everything south of the 10 and west of the 605. That's a huge area to cover. Now we have several more officers in our squad, so we can further support the protection of California's resources. But as Mr. Feuer mentioned, we're seeing a lot of egregious and gross overlimits of take in our tide pools. And I've worked with LA specifically to get some signage put up, which I believe helps educate our public. This legal signage informs our constituents of the laws and what they can and can't do. But we do see people in there with screwdrivers and shovels. And a lot of the time when you take these tidal invertebrates off the rocks, not all of them, but some of them have a problem reattaching. And so just simply taking them off the rocks themselves, if they're not taken in the right quantities, prevents them from reestablishing. When we do get these gross over limits, we're always returning the sea creatures back to sea where they belong. But we have seen an increase in fishing activity at this location. So we'd really appreciate the public support.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Rob, the cleanest microphone in the West here. There's no way that this kind of effort can happen without an incredibly dedicated team. And although they can't be here because of social distancing at this moment, I want to highlight the work of our team, Will Rivera, Jessica Brown, Ella Fernandez, and Nick Carno, who've been working so closely with our partners at the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. I also want to thank, as always, our interpreter, Susan Pacheco, who gets to thank herself, which is lovely, and our partners at LA City View Channel 35. I'm going to say a few words in Spanish, but before I do, I want to really hone in on a key point. I understand how desperate people are in the midst of COVID. I get it. People have lost jobs. There isn't enough money coming from the federal government for unemployment. People's rent is at stake. This is a crisis, and we're all in it together. But to respond to that crisis by going to White Point and prying these sea creatures off the tide pools in the quantities that we're seeing, this can't continue. This is not a way to feed your family or to sell a small quantity of sea creatures to make ends meet. I understand the desperation, but this is no way to express it. And I think, again, on the one hand, I know there are some viewers who might watch this and say, we're in this crisis. What does a tide pool matter? And as Lieutenant Buddish was describing, these tide pools have this intrinsic importance in the immediate vicinity where they're located. Tide pools are sources of nutrition for larger animals. They can be nurseries for fish that are coming in and out, but they're also part of a larger ecosystem up and down the coast. We're going to get through this pandemic. We need to get through it with other aspects of our environment preserved and safe for everybody. So let me say a few words in Spanish, and then I'm happy to take questions. If you'd like to ask a question, you can direct it to Rob Wilcox, who will, as he always does, then forward them to me with the toughest questions, typically the first ones. Okay, ahora en español. Mi oficina ha priorizado la protección del medio ambiente, especialmente a nuestra fauna silvestre. Hoy anuncio que mi unidad de justicia ambiental ha acusado contra 5 personas por violaciones que incluyen quitar mejillones, caracoles turbantes, erizos de mar y otras vidas marinas de sus hábitats naturales por encima de los límites legales en White Point Beach, en San Pedro. La recolección extensiva de animales ha destruido el frágil ecosistema a lo largo de la costa, y no se sabe si se podrá recuperar. Estamos luchando para proteger estos frágiles pozas de marea de San Pedro y la vida marina que depende de ellos. Un recurso precioso que nuestras familias han disfrutado durante mucho tiempo. Me gustaría que las futuras generaciones pudieran seguir disfrutando de esta experiencia. Alegamos que estos acusados han puesto en peligro ese futuro al amenazar este sensible ecosistema. No se puede tomar tantas de estas criaturas marinas como quieran y cuando quieran. Gracias. Okay, Rob, questions?
Yes, our first questions come from Louis Sahagan at the Los Angeles Times. I believe that tide pools act as nurseries for young fish and mussels. Can you provide a little more detail about how unregulated harvesting of the tide pools can impact the overall ecological health of the coastal area at White Point?
Yes, and Louis, thank you very much for your coverage, both of the environment generally and of this issue. It's really important. So as you said, and as I tried to explain a little bit earlier, tide pools do perform this role as nurseries for fish, which come in and they can feed off of the smaller plants and animals that are located in this location, and locations like this for seabirds as well, by the way, which come in. Thing is, when fish come in and feed off of algae or other invertebrates and small animals there, when birds come in and they feed off of one of the creatures who are there, that are there, they do so in a manner that is sustainable. They come in, they leave, and people who are over-harvesting these locations are taking quantities of the sea creatures I mentioned earlier, and by doing so, you're jeopardizing the health of other sea creatures, other creatures that rely on mussels and other of the animals that are there. Now, sea urchins, there are limits on sea urchins, but there's a complete ban on taking starfish, for example. Because as Lieutenant Buddish mentioned, and we were talking earlier, starfish used to be plentiful in tide pools like this. Now they're rarely seen at all. Do we as a generation want to be responsible for making sure that there aren't any of them left? No, this is a really important issue. This ecosystem is fragile. There's an interdependence of larger animals, smaller animals, invertebrate, and those of us who live in this area. We're all interdependent when it comes to this location.
Another question from Louis Sahagan. Is there a species of harvested sea creature that may have a particularly hard time recovering from this harvesting? For example, turban snails take many years to mature.
Well, actually, Louis, that's right. The turban snail is a concern for us. And again, that's why the limits on these sea creatures are so low. I will say sea urchins are somewhat of a lesser concern when it comes to being able to sustain themselves over time, because other predators that used to be there aren't there as much anymore, but the limits on sea urchins are also very important. I don't know enough to know about the ability of mussels to recover from this over-harvesting, except to say that it's a serious issue. As I mentioned earlier, since starfish hardly exist anymore in this location, the taking of them in any quantities can jeopardize an ecosystem that may never have starfish in them again.
And from Lewis, a final question. Are there plans to step up law enforcement at White Point? Lewis understands that the practice of harvesting is continuing there.
So I will just speak again, kind of underscoring what Lieutenant Buddish said a moment ago. And we've talked about this, she and I. The department has stepped up enforcement in this location because it's well aware of the social media that has led people to gravitate to come here. And with those crowbars and garden tools and screwdrivers and overfish there, the lieutenant and her team are going to be particularly vigilant because they know that this is a hot spot and a source of concern. Lieutenant Buddish, did you want to say more than that, or is that adequate to the task?
That's pretty adequate. I mean, I can...
Yeah, why don't you say, why don't you elaborate if you would? It gives Rob something to do. So.
Thank you. So in terms of enforcement and stepping up our patrols, so CalTIP, it's California Turns In Poachers and Polluters, is an amazing resource. The phone number is 1-888-334-2258. And it's important for the public, or anyone for that matter, if you see illegal harvesting of fish or wildlife at this location or any location, to call that phone number. That information goes directly to our dispatch. It's manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it allows us, if we're already in the field and maybe not at that area, to respond immediately. Sometimes, we can't respond immediately, but as a result of the increase in fishing pressure and the support from the public and the outcries we've heard and the stuff we've seen on social media, we've definitely increased our patrols at least by threefold. So we do take this seriously, and it's important to protect California's resources. So to answer that question, yes, we definitely have stepped up patrols, and we're doing as much as we can with the resources we have.
Thank you, Rob. Are there any more questions?
Yes, from Terry at City News Service.
Sure. Hi, Terry.
Her question is, do we have an idea of where the people are coming from that are allegedly committing these crimes?
So the answer is I actually don't know where everybody is coming from, but my guess is that they're coming from the surrounding communities here. I don't know if Lieutenant Buddish has anything further to add to that, but basically we're talking about people who are coming from neighboring communities. The tide pools, again, have long been an attraction for families for generations there, and that's a good thing. As long as people handle themselves appropriately, it's a very important way to educate children about the ecosystem we're in, and it's a beautiful place. But it will not be too beautiful if people come and pry starfish and urchins and mussels off of rocks in the tide pools and take them home to consume them or to sell them. And again, this is indicative of a broader issue for all of us. Our environment, as we're increasingly aware with the fires that we're experiencing, is a sensitive, fragile thing. And we hold the future in our hands. That's why we're holding this press conference today, is to, I hope by announcing the allegations and the prosecutions that will be underway, that we will deter people from engaging in behavior that could ruin this ecosystem forever. Other questions?
No, that concludes our questioning for today.
All right, Lieutenant Buddish, I want to thank you and your team very much again. Again, Channel 35, LA City View, thank you so much. Susan, thank you again. And thank you for covering this issue in the midst of a pandemic. There are issues like this that deserve our collective attention. Thanks very much.